In a quiet village, nestled between hills and forests, there was a small bakery run by an elderly woman named Clara. Her shop, Clara's Crumbs, was famous for the delicious pastries that filled the air with warmth and sweetness. But Clara wasn't just known for her baking. She was admired for her kindness, her wisdom, and her unwavering belief that small moments can change everything. One cold morning, as Clara was preparing her dough, a young man named Oliver entered her shop. His eyes were tired, and his shoulders slumped as if the weight of the world rested upon them. He had just lost his job and was struggling to find his way in life. He ordered a coffee and sat by the window, staring out at the falling snow, lost in his thoughts. Clara noticed him immediately. She always paid attention to the people who came into her shop. She saw his sorrow and approached him, offering a warm smile. "Would you like to try one of my fresh croissants?" she asked. "They're made with a little love and a lot of patience." Oliver nodded absent-mindedly, too preoccupied to say much. Clara placed a croissant in front of him and sat across from him, quietly waiting. As Oliver took a bite, a spark of warmth flickered in his eyes. The flaky, buttery pastry melted in his mouth, and for a moment the weight on his shoulders seemed to lighten. Clara watched him with patience, her hands folded in her lap. "You know," she said softly, "it's funny how a little thing like a croissant can remind you that good things still exist, even when everything feels like it's falling apart." Oliver looked up at her, surprised by her words. "I don't know if I can find anything good right now," he confessed. "Everything seems uncertain." Clara nodded, understanding. Sometimes life gives us moments that feel like they don't matter. But if you look closely, you'll see that those moments are the ones that build you. Each day, each choice, no matter how small, is a step forward. Even the hardest days bring something new, something that prepares you for what's next. She leaned forward slightly, her voice filled with gentle conviction. Don't underestimate the power of 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, you can make a decision, change your mind, or even just take a deep breath. It's the smallest shifts that often lead to the biggest changes. Oliver sat back, reflecting on her words. 5 minutes. It didn't seem like much, but in that moment, something inside him clicked. The world didn't need to change all at once. Sometimes, just starting with one small thing, like a croissant or a conversation, was enough to remind him that the next step could be better than the last. He stood up, a bit taller now, with renewed hope in his heart. He thanked Clara and promised to come back the next day. As he walked out into the snowy morning, Clara watched him go. She knew that, just like the dough she kneaded every day, he too would rise, one small step at a time. And with that, she returned to her work, content in the knowledge that she had made a difference, even if only for 5 minutes. And sometimes, that was all it took.